Hey, it's me again. I'm going to tell you a story about words. So, I had a client who'd been sectioned in a mental hospital for a while. She had a breakdown. She'd had a very difficult childhood. And then she came to see me, and she just had to go as an outpatient to this group once a week. And she was telling me, I said, well, what do you do there? She said, well, we just have to sit in a circle and talk, and we have to start by saying something nice. So I usually say, oh, I saw daffodils on the way here today, or I petted a dog, or my cat sat on my lap before I left, and now I feel happy. I'm like, well, that's kind of nice, but I want you to do better than that. I want you to, every time you have to say something nice, I want you to go, I have phenomenal coping skills. Because it's all about coping. You've been in a mental hospital, that's okay, and now you're coping. So I want you to forget about daffodils and butterflies and puppies and kittens, lovely as they are, and I want you to say, I have phenomenal coping skills every week in that group. Because if you keep saying it, it becomes true. Because of course, when someone is sectioned, they have no coping. So they are, I can't cope with traffic, and I can't cope. And she said that when she was little, her mother's words were, I can't cope. Her mother couldn't cope with her opening a packet of potato chips. The rustling would drive her crazy. The mother couldn't cope with sound or light or noise. And she brought up this poor little girl to believe that, oh, I can't cope. Oh, that noise is going to drive me crazy. That light's going to give me a headache. That smell's going to give me a migraine. And the mother had no coping skills. And of course, this poor little girl grew up believing that life was not something to be coped with at all. And her mother never went to a store or a supermarket because she couldn't cope. She never went shopping in a department store because she couldn't cope. She very rarely went out because she couldn't cope with traffic. She couldn't cope with heat, and she couldn't cope with cold. No wonder this poor girl's been in a mental home. I'm going to change that for her. So I made her say it all the time. I have phenomenal coping skills. And sometimes she'd say, I have extraordinary coping skills. I have outstanding coping skills. I have exceptional coping skills. After a few weeks, one of the nurses said, you know, would you mind if some of the other patients said that too? Because they really like it when you say that. It changes the energy in the room. She went, well, I don't own it. Of course I don't mind. So other patients began to say, I have incredible coping skills. And then the hospital decided that they would write it on the walls. So they made posters and they stuck it around the walls in this one particular ward. And then they noticed that they had the fastest turnaround rate with their clients, that these people who felt they couldn't cope and couldn't cope with anything, just saying that. You see, what were they saying? Let's break it down again. They were telling the mind something specific. I have phenomenal coping skills. Bring it on. I can cope. That's what they were saying to the mind. That was the dialogue and the collaboration with the mind. I have incredible coping skills. Whatever you throw at me, it's good, and I will cope because I have phenomenal coping skills. What were the pictures and the words in the head? Well, the picture of somebody coping with anything incredibly well, phenomenally well actually. That was the picture, that was the words. And what was familiar? I can cope. Bad traffic, difficult person, irritable parent or kid, or bad day. It's okay, because I have extraordinary coping skills. And what became unfamiliar? Unable to cope. That just all stopped. And so that hospital to this day still uses that. They still get people to say that. They still use those posters. And the girl who is in a mental hospital is now, weirdly enough or not, she's a mental health nurse. And she helps people cope because that's an example. So I want you to think of a word you could use. I've got a wonderful personality. I've got a fantastic memory. Everything comes to me. I'm great at time management. I get things done. It doesn't really matter what it is, but I want you to think of some words you can say. I look after my body extraordinarily well. You see, I don't use wishy-washy words. I'm fine, I'm okay, I'm not bad, I'm quite good. I like phenomenal, extraordinary, outstanding, incredible, powerful. I have a phenomenal memory. I have incredible coping skills. I'm an outstanding parent. I'm an amazing, phenomenal, extraordinary friend, and my friends are amazing and phenomenal, extraordinary, because I know that those words excite my mind, and they're so descriptive that the mind knows what I'm saying. If I say, oh my God, what a nightmare last weekend was. It was hell, it was a disaster. I'm probably talking about some party I went to that was boring, but I've elevated it so much by using those words. And then if I say, but you know, the next day I went to lunch and that was quite nice, I've made something good, minimal, and made something bad, I've elevated it. So here's a handy hint for you. When something isn't great, like a challenge, or you go to a film and it's not good, just go, yeah, it was a little disappointing, wasn't quite what I expected. Go, oh my God, it was awful, I was bored out of my mind, I wasted 3 hours, it was hell sitting through that play, I thought I was going to die of boredom. Just go, yeah, it wasn't a good use of my time, but it's only 3 hours, it was fine. So you got to learn to minimize the negative and accentuate the positive. So when something is good, you can go, oh, it was amazing, it was incredible, I was phenomenal. You can even use swear words. I'm going to say fricking, I was fricking amazing, that was fricking fun, that was freaking awesome. Because even the words you put in front of words, so people go, oh, I've got this headache, it's killing me, I'm dying of pain, oh, I've got this excruciating stomach ache, I'm in agony. None of that is true. I have a headache. It's a little annoying, but it will go, I've got this niggly pain, but I can deal with it because I've got stuff to do. You see how we get to choose again and again. We have a choice. You can go, I'm in agony, my head is killing me, which is not true. You can go, I got a headache, it's slightly annoying, but I'm going to take some pain meds and in 20 minutes I'll be fine, or maybe I need to drink some water. I'm just going to take some time because I do have a headache, but don't call it an agonizing, crippling, killing headache. Don't say, oh, my stomach, I'm dying of pain, I'm dying with the flu, this cold is killing me. Don't do that. Minimize that stuff. It's slight, it's mild, it's niggling, it's mildly discomforting. And then when something is good, then you use words. This is incredible, this is amazing, this is phenomenal, this is outstanding. Then you use the good words. And you can use swear words, you can put words into this is completely amazing, this is utterly outstanding, this is totally awesome. You get the picture, don't you? Good words in front of a good thing make it better. And minimal words in front of a bad thing minimize it. But don't say, oh my God, this headache is the headache from hell. This is the client from hell. This is a nightmare. Don't do that. You have a choice. Remember, you have a brilliant brain. Here's your choice. Rationalize why it's all going wrong. Talk yourself out of it. That's all you have to do. See you soon. Thanks for listening.